Choosing a filter is hard, especially when the description of what they do doesn't really help. A description alone makes it really hard to choose. It's very tiring to be stuck in the limbo of uncertainty. But sometimes you need someone to show you where to start. Let me show you why the Tiffen Black Satin 1 filter is the first one you should buy. Hopefully they don't think I'm weird for wearing a Sherpa jacket. So before I even get into these photos, how are you guys? I haven't seen you in so long. It's been a long time since I last posted a video. We've been working on stuff. We've been making photos. We've been buying gear. We've been prepping up for more videos to come. So I just wanted to say what's up. I've also been off of Instagram for 1 month. I'm going to talk about that in a different video because that needs to be talked about. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right to it. So what is the big difference with this filter? Why is this a good filter for a first-time street photographer or a experienced street photographer? I think the best way to answer all those questions is to look at this photo right here. So guys, look at the bloom. Look at the bloom on this. All right. What a beautiful bloom. I mean, it is not overpowering. It is not obnoxious. You couldn't even tell actually if you were looking at this photo that this bloom right here was from a filter. It is such a subtle bloom. Like, this is what you want in a filter as a street photographer. You don't want the effects of your filter to take away from the photo, or for the photo to look hyper real or, you know, completely exaggerated. You know, the whole point of street photography is to capture reality as it is. And it shouldn't be too altered. It should look like what you saw. So number 2, it definitely gives a slightly warmer feel. So in this photo, maybe not as much, but if you look at this one, just by looking at them side by side, you can tell that there's been some sort of increase in warmth by just using this filter. I didn't touch the white balance. I didn't touch anything. These are all raw photos. They have not been edited. They're just straight out of camera with the black satin filter. But this one, look, you can just tell. Just pick any corner and you can tell that there's a change in color. Definitely on the warmer side. Number 3, there's definitely a little reduction in contrast. You can see in this photo with the bikes. Look at the difference between the light and dark areas and how drastic it is in the first photo that I took without the filter. And then look how it changes when I switch to the photo that I took with the black satin filter. Not a crazy reduction in contrast, but enough to make a difference, enough to make it a little bit less digital. And I'm gonna go over a little bit later the difference between, like, let's say this filter and the Cine Bloom and what that does to contrast. Number 4 is that the blacks, at least to my eyes, they appear slightly blacker. And is that even a word? Slightly blacker? More black. I don't know. I don't even speak English. So if you look at this photo on the pier, the way I can sort of tell, I mean, just look at anything that's sort of more black, that has a lot more black in it. The sign itself, I feel like the letters are slightly more black. I feel like the boards are a lot darker with the filter applied. I think this photo is a good one too, to kind of see how the blacks get blacker. Just look at sort of the shadows and the people. I don't know, my eyes might be playing tricks on me, but I really do feel like the blacks are slightly blacker. Number 5, there is a reduction in sharpness. And what I mean by sharpness is that there's an overall less digital feel. And this is what you're gonna get with any filter. I don't think this one is specific to the black satin. Any filter you buy that is diffusion is gonna give you some softness, some creaminess, some less digitalness, and that's what we don't want. We don't want it to be too digital. Now guys, like I said, all those photos were raw, untouched, uncolored, just pure, straight out of camera goodness. They actually look not too bad. But I decided to go out for a walk in Laguna Beach and take some photos just to give you an idea of what the photos look like with the filter, plus some edits, plus some grain, plus some beautifulness. Here we go. See that right there? I don't know if you can see that. This is the Cine Bloom 10%. And when I got this thing, I thought that this filter was like the best filter ever, and it still is. But what I realized is that this is not the first filter that you should probably buy. If anything, it's the filter that I'm talking about in this video. And the reason is because, as you can see, I'm gonna put some side-by-side photos here. The bloom on the 10% can make everything sort of look a little too glowy. And as a street photographer, depending on what kind of project you're shooting, that's good. But for everyday shooting, just going out and, you know, keeping in mind that this filter, essentially the effect it's creating is getting baked into your photo, you want to have sort of like the sort of lightest, more subtle effect that's going to be baked in. I still think the Cine Bloom is a great filter. I think the 10% is the strength that you should go for. I would recommend the black satin over the Cine Bloom 5 because I feel like the Cine Bloom 5 is going to have way more of a reduction in contrast than the black satin. And what's nice about this filter is that it keeps a lot of contrast, it does make the blacks a little bit blacker. So you kind of get like the image that would come out of your camera, but slightly altered for the better. It's kind of interesting in the filter world because it seems like almost every filter is the same thing. And you might be thinking, well, dude, why don't you just get the Black Pro Mist 1/8? Like that's the weakest strength Black Pro Mist, and that's like the best filter, man. And yes, but there was a video done by Maddie Hapoya. This, I don't know if he's from Iceland or something, but he made a video about the different filters that he uses for his videos. And I took this screenshot from one of his videos because it was a good representation that the black Satin and the Black Pro Mist 1/8 are not the same thing. It's a very subtle difference, but I feel like there's still a little bit more loss of contrast in the Black Pro Mist 1/8 than in comparison to the Black Satin. The last thing that I want to say about this filter is that, you know, I made this video from a photography perspective because I do street photography. I don't really filmic. Sometimes I do. You'll see some of my videos have some interesting filmic intros, but that's not the sort of field that I dabble in. I like photography. But for those of you who may use it for video like me, like I think I'm actually using it on this video. Let me take it off so you can see the difference. Can you tell the difference? It's less warm, there's less bloom, there's more contrast. It's awesome. I love this filter. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stack it with the Cine Bloom. So that's the Black Satin stacked with the Cine Bloom. I think that's an interesting effect. I think I need to make a video doing some street photography with this combo. I want to hear from the guys that have this filter if they like it. I feel like no one really talks about this filter, and I haven't really met anybody or seen very many YouTube videos on this filter. So let me know what you guys think. Is it worth it? And stay tuned because either the next video or 2 videos from now, I'm gonna do a little POV street photography with this filter so you can see it in action. And I plan to buy some more filters, maybe a glimmer glass, maybe some other ones. But if you want to see those videos, subscribe, smash that like button. Thanks again, guys. I love you so much. Thanks for watching. Peace.